When you're moving from development to mass production, how do you make sure your product turns out exactly the way you envision? How do you prevent costly defects, miscommunication, and delays during mass production? One thing you need is the golden sample. A golden sample is your approved benchmark of what your perfect version of your product looks like after it's made in production. It's what your supplier will reference to ensure that your product meets all requirements. And without a golden sample, you're leaving too much up to chance. Small inconsistencies, even in colors, can snowball quickly. And once you ship products, it's hard to fix these issues. So it's better to have the golden sample ready for your supplier. In this video, we'll break down why you need a golden sample, the key benefits it provides, how it helps transition from development to mass production, and the steps you need to take to finalize it. So let's dive in. The golden sample serves as the golden standard. It's the single approved sample of your product that defines exactly what's acceptable in mass production. And as a physical sample, it acts as an objective reference for what the product should look like. As we know, manufacturing is complex, and even the smallest miscommunication can lead to major differences in the final product. A golden sample leaves nothing to chance. It ensures that your supplier, engineers, and quality control teams are all aligned on the exact specifications. The golden sample isn't just a nice to have, it's a critical sample to ensure your product meets expectations for each order. So now let's break down the 4 key benefits of a golden sample. The first is to create an objective quality standard. The biggest advantage of a golden sample is that it creates an objective physical standard for quality. Instead of relying on subjective opinions from your supplier's QC departments, they will have an objective standard to help them confirm if the part is acceptable or not. The second is that it reduces risk of a defect. One of the most expensive mistakes in manufacturing is discovering defects too late. A golden sample helps catch potential issues before they turn into large-scale production problems. The third reason is that it prevents miscommunication. Miscommunication is a common problem in manufacturing, especially when working with different countries. A physical reference ensures that your supplier, engineers, and production teams are all on the same page. The last reason is for the approval process. Before mass production begins, the golden sample goes through a formal approval process. This is a critical step to lock in the final design and prevent unwanted surprises. Both you and your supplier must sign off on the sample, ensuring alignment before production ramps up. This approval process sets clear expectation and creates accountability, reducing the risk of disputes later on. Now, let's go over how the golden sample transitions you from development to production. One of the biggest challenges in manufacturing is going from prototypes to mass production. Early prototypes are often handmade or produced using different methods than what's going to be used in mass production. That means they might look great, but they don't always reflect how the final product will be manufactured at scale. This is where the golden sample comes in. Unlike early prototypes, your golden sample should be made using the same exact materials and fabrication processes as your final product. The reason for this is that you need to verify the product can be made in production and what the end product will look like. Another major benefit is that it brings everyone together. The golden sample is a physical reference that both you and your supplier agrees on. It eliminates confusion over color, finish, functionality before mass production even starts. At the end of the day, the golden sample is one part of the process that helps you streamline the process from development to mass production. Next, let's talk about the final step, how to properly finalize the golden sample to make sure it's ready for production. One question that's asked is, how do you know you have the golden sample? You probably have made many prototypes, but how do you know that this is the final one? There are 4 steps you should take to make sure your golden sample is fully finalized and ready for manufacturing. The first one is thorough testing and validation. Here, your golden sample needs to go through rigorous testing. This includes checking material strength, durability, and functionality under real-world conditions. Also, verifying tolerances to make sure dimensions are within spec and running any necessary compliance tests to meet industry standard. The goal here is simple. If the prototype doesn't hold up in testing, neither will your production units. So it can't be your golden sample. The second step is clear documentation of specifications. Here, everything about your golden sample must be documented in detail. This includes product information that's usually found in the bill of materials, such as material, surface finish, colors, and textures. It also includes dimensions and tolerances and the assembly methods and quality control requirements as well. The third step is alignment between you and your supplier. Before production starts, both you and your supplier must be fully aligned on the golden sample. This means a number of things, such as reviewing and signing off on the sample together, confirming that they can reproduce it at scale and at the same quality, and setting clear quality control checkpoints to compare production to the golden sample. Not being on the same page with your supplier can be a huge disadvantage and lead to costly rework later on. So make sure you get everything agreed on up front. The fourth step is to keep multiple physical and digital copies. Never rely on just one golden sample. You should have multiple of these. One for you, one for your supplier, and one for any third-party inspectors. Also, store photos and spec sheets digitally, so there's always a backup reference. With these 4 steps, your golden sample is now finalized, which will help you set up for mass production. A golden sample isn't just a prototype. It lays the foundation for a successful production run. The golden sample ensures consistency, prevents miscommunication, and keeps you and your supplier aligned from the very start. By going through the proper steps of finalizing your golden sample, you ensure that you can go from development to production. This means fewer surprises, fewer defects, and a product that meets both your standards and your customers' expectations. If you're working on a new product and want to make sure your manufacturing process goes smoothly, do not skip this step. A well-prepared golden sample can save you time, money, and headaches down the road. I hope you guys have a better understanding of what a golden sample is and why it matters in production. If you have found this helpful, then please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have any questions, then please comment below and I'll get back to you. Thank you everyone for watching.